training, eating clean, staying consistent. And 3 months later, nothing changed. Same body, same frustration. Here's the truth. The problem isn't your discipline. It's that you've been stuck between two broken extremes. Dirty bulk or starvation cut. And both are wrong. Today, I'm showing you 3 dietary frameworks that actually build measurable muscle in 12 weeks. This isn't theory. People are leaving real muscle on the table every single week. Before we go into the frameworks, let's get real about what 12 weeks of intelligent dieting can actually produce. Because this matters. Research shows that natural trained individuals can expect to gain approximately 0.5 to 2 pounds of actual lean muscle mass per month. That's it. That's the biological ceiling. This isn't defeatism. This is science. And respecting it is what separates people who make steady progress from people who keep chasing shortcuts. So in 12 weeks, you're looking at 1.5 to maybe 5-6 pounds of muscle if you do things well. That doesn't sound like a lot until you understand that 5 pounds of lean muscle on the right frame changes how you look dramatically. But here's what you can measure in 12 weeks that tells you you're moving in the right direction. Strength numbers going up on key compound lifts. Squat, press, pull. Tape measurements, arms, chest, quads, increasing while your waist stays the same or shrinks. And your weekly average body weight trending upward by 0.25 to 0.5 pounds per week for lean gain. These 3. If all 3 move in the right direction, you're building real muscle. If only the scale moves, you're probably gaining fat. If nothing moves, your diet is the bottleneck. And that's exactly what we're fixing today. Before we get into the 3 diets, there are 3 invisible rules that apply to all of them. Without these, no dietary framework will work. Period. Rule number 1. Protein. 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. This range comes directly from the International Society of Sports Nutrition position stand and multiple peer-reviewed meta-analyses. This is non-negotiable. Every other variable is secondary. Rule number 2. Sleep. 7 to 9 hours. Growth hormone peaks during deep sleep. Without it, muscle protein synthesis drops and cortisol rises. You can eat perfectly and train perfectly. But if you're sleeping 5 hours, you're canceling the work. Rule number 3. Training stimulus. Progressive overload. Adding reps, weight, or sets over time. No diet creates muscle without mechanical tension on the muscle. The diet creates the environment. The training creates the signal. Got those 3? Good. Now let's get into the frameworks. And remember, before making any significant change to your diet, talk to your registered dietitian or doctor. What we're covering here is educational, based on real research, but it's not personalized medical advice. No diet works without the basics. No exception. Not this one. Not anyone. Framework 1. The controlled lean gain. The approach that most people say doesn't work because they do it wrong. What is it? A small controlled caloric surplus, roughly 200 to 300 calories above your maintenance, combined with high protein intake. That's it. Simple in concept, brutal in execution if you lack patience. Here's the science behind it. A 2023 study published in Sports Medicine Open by Eric Helms and colleagues, one of the most respected researchers in sports nutrition, found that larger caloric surpluses primarily increase fat gain, not muscle gain, in trained individuals. A bigger surplus didn't build more muscle, it just built more fat. This is backed up by additional data showing that if more than 60% of the weight you're gaining is fat, your surplus is simply too large. The sweet spot for most intermediate lifters is a surplus that results in 0.25 to 0.5 pounds of weight gain per week, not more. Who is this for? This is for you if you're an intermediate lifter with 1 to 3 years of training, if you tend to gain fat easily, if you want to minimize the time you spend looking soft, and if, this is the key one, you're patient. It's not ideal if you're a true beginner, because beginners can build muscle even at maintenance or a very slight deficit. And it's not ideal if you're already extremely lean and need more aggressive fueling. How do you execute it? Step 1. Calculate your maintenance calories. Your TDE, your total daily energy expenditure. There are dozens of reliable calculators online. Use one. It doesn't need to be perfect. Step 2. Add 200 to 300 calories, no more. If after 2 to 3 weeks you're not gaining 0.25 to 0.5 pounds per week, add 100 calories more and reassess. Step 3. Hit 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Fill the rest of your calories with carbs and fats from whole foods. Step 4, and this one is non-negotiable. Track your weekly average weight, not your daily weight. Daily weight fluctuates wildly because of water retention, sodium, and digestion. The weekly average is where the truth lives. A sample day for an 82-kilogram person at around 2,800 calories. Meal 1, 5 whole eggs plus 2 egg whites scrambled, 1 cup of oats with banana, around 700 calories, 50 grams of protein. Meal 2, 200 grams of chicken breast, 200 grams of cooked white rice, half an avocado, broccoli, around 750 calories, 50 grams of protein. Meal 3, pre or post-workout. Greek yogurt at 2% fat, 1 scoop of whey protein, a handful of berries, around 450 calories, 45 grams of protein. Meal 4, dinner, 200 grams of salmon, 250 grams of sweet potato, a large green salad with olive oil, around 700 calories, 45 grams of protein. Snack, a handful of mixed nuts and 1 apple, around 200 calories. The most common mistakes. Mistake 1, being impatient. 2 weeks of nothing happening is completely normal with this method. It rewards the long game, not the short one. Mistake 2, underestimating liquid calories. A smoothie, a coffee drink, a couple of beers on the weekend. This is where controlled surpluses silently explode into 600 calories and you stop tracking without realizing it. Mistake 3, dropping protein when calories get tight. Protein is the one variable you never cycle down, ever. Signals you're on track at weeks 2 and 3. Strength is slowly going up. Weekly weight average is creeping up by 0.25 to 0.5 pounds. You don't feel bloated or stuffed all the time. You feel energized during training. If your energy is tanking and you're gaining more than 1 pound per week, cut back 100 to 150 calories. Reality check, the busy person version. You don't have time for full meal prep every Sunday? Here's the minimum that works. Batch cook your protein sources, chicken, eggs, Greek yogurt, and keep rice or potatoes ready. The rest can be assembled in 5 minutes. You don't need a culinary degree. You need protein, food, and consistency. That's the whole system. More calories does not mean more muscle. The 2023 research confirmed it. A surplus of 500 builds fat. A surplus of 250 builds muscle. Same effort, very different body. But here's where things get interesting. What if you don't want to eat the same amount of calories every single day? What if your schedule changes completely from Monday to Sunday? Some days brutal, some days completely sedentary. That's where Framework 2 comes in. And this is the one most people have never heard of applied this way. Do you think dirty bulking is still worth it in 2025? Or is it officially overrated? Drop your honest take below. This debate gets heated. Framework 2. Cyclical recomp. Eat more on the days you train, less on the days you don't. Sounds simple, until you see why most people do it completely wrong. What is it? Cyclical recomp, also known as calorie cycling or carb cycling depending on execution, is the practice of matching your caloric intake to your daily energy output. More food on training days, less food on rest days. Your weekly total stays near or slightly above maintenance. Why does this make biological sense? On a training day, your muscles are actively depleting glycogen, stored carbohydrates, creating mechanical damage, and sending signals for nutrients to repair and grow. Putting more food in on those days means those calories actually have somewhere to go. They support performance. They support recovery. On a rest day, your energy demand drops significantly. Eating the same amount you'd eat on a hard training day means excess calories are getting stored, not as muscle, but as fat. And here's something the research also shows that often gets left out. People who cycle calories report significantly better adherence because the lower days feel manageable when you know a higher day is coming. And adherence, we'll come back to this, is the actual variable that determines 12-week results, not the perfect macro split. Adherence. Who is this for? This is for you if you have a structured training schedule, 3 to 5 days per week, where your training days and rest days are clearly different in activity level. And if you've already been tracking food for a while and aren't new to working with macros. It is not ideal if you're a beginner who's still struggling to hit basic protein goals. Complexity before the basics is just organized self-sabotage. How do you execute it? On training days, eat 10 to 15% above your TDE. Prioritize carbohydrates around your workout window, before and after. Keep protein high. On rest days, eat 5 to 10% below your TDE. Reduce carbs significantly. Keep protein identical to training days. Healthy fats can fill some of the remaining gap. Over the week, your caloric average lands slightly above maintenance, creating a very controlled environment for muscle gain with minimal fat accumulation. A sample training day for the same 82-kilogram person at around 3,100 calories. Pre-workout, 150 grams of oats, 1 banana, 1 scoop of whey. Around 600 calories, 40 grams of protein, high in carbs. Post-workout, 200 grams of chicken breast, 300 grams of white rice, salsa, around 750 calories, 50 grams of protein, high in carbs. Dinner, 200 grams of 90% lean beef, 250 grams of potato, green vegetables, around 750 calories, 50 grams of protein. A sample rest day at around 2,350 calories. Breakfast, 5 eggs plus 100 grams of smoked salmon plus spinach, around 550 calories, 55 grams of protein. Lunch, 200 grams of turkey, a salad with olive oil, 100 grams of chickpeas, around 650 calories, 50 grams of protein. Dinner, 200 grams of tuna in olive oil, 2 cups of roasted vegetables, half an avocado, around 650 calories, 45 grams of protein. Snack, a handful of almonds and cottage cheese, around 500 calories, 30 grams of protein. The mistakes that will kill your results with this framework. Mistake 1. Cycling the wrong macros. People drop protein on rest days. Don't. Protein stays constant across every day. Only carbs and total calories fluctuate. Mistake 2. Compensating with junk food on high days. A high-calorie day is not a cheat day. It is a precisely fueled day. One is strategic. The other is just eating more garbage and calling it a plan. Mistake 3. Doing this without any tracking at all. You cannot cycle what you cannot count. If you're not checking your weekly weight average, you're guessing, and guessing doesn't build muscle. It builds confusion. Mistake 4. Treating every gym day as a real training day. Some people go to the gym, go through the motions, barely push intensity. That is a rest day nutritionally, not a training day. Be honest with yourself. On training days, you feel fueled and strong. On rest days, you feel lighter but not depleted. Your weekly weight average is stable or very slightly trending up. Your strength numbers are not decreasing. If your strength starts dropping after adjusting rest day calories, you're cutting too aggressively on low days. Pull back. Most diets fail on rest days, not on training days. Rest days are where real discipline lives. Now here's a question worth sitting with before we get to Framework 3. Both Framework 1 and Framework 2 require tracking. They require numbers, attention, and a level of consistency with data that not everyone can sustain long term. What if you're someone who has tried tracking before, and the math itself was the reason you quit? What if the system was the problem, not you? That's exactly why Framework 3 exists. And honestly, it's the one most people should probably start with. And while we're on the topic of what actually works at the foundation level, our next video goes deep on one of the most debated questions in the fitness world: creatine versus food. What actually builds more muscle? You're going to want to watch that one right after this. Drop a comment. Have you tried calorie cycling before? Did it actually work? Or did every day somehow become a training day? Be honest down below. Framework 3. The performance-based diet. Simple rules, no calorie counting. For the majority of people, this is the one that actually sticks. What is it? A structure built around non-negotiable behavioral rules, not precise numbers. You don't track calories, you track behaviors. The outcomes are nearly the same as calorie tracking, but the adherence rate is dramatically higher. And adherence, as we've now said twice, is the real variable that determines what your body looks like in 12 weeks. The 5 rules of the performance-based diet. Rule 1. Every single meal has a quality protein source. Not optional, not sometimes. Every meal. Aim for 30 to 50 grams per meal across 3 to 4 meals per day. Rule 2. Carbohydrates are front-loaded around training. Before your session, after your session. The rest of your meals are lower in carbs. This is where your fuel goes when it can actually be used. Rule 3. Vegetables or fiber with at least 2 meals per day. This is for digestion, micronutrients, and satiety, not for moral reasons. Fiber keeps hunger controlled, which keeps total calorie intake manageable without obsessing over numbers. Rule 4. Healthy fats in small amounts at most meals. Olive oil, avocado, whole eggs, fatty fish. These support hormonal function, including testosterone, which is relevant to muscle protein synthesis. Small amounts, not unlimited. Rule 5. Liquid calories are almost zero outside of protein shakes. Juices, sodas, flavored coffees, sugary drinks. These are the invisible diet wreckers most people never account for and never realize are the reason their body composition won't change. Who is this for? This is for you if you've tried tracking before and burned out. If you're a beginner to intermediate lifter. If your schedule is chaotic and unpredictable. If you want results without spending every hour of the day thinking about food. And it's also for the person who is training hard, genuinely training hard, but eating completely randomly. This framework alone, just these 5 rules applied consistently, can transform someone's body composition in 12 weeks. It has happened, It will keep happening. Here's something worth knowing about the protein rule. For years, fitness culture repeated the idea that you can only use 20 to 25 grams of protein per meal for muscle building. A 2023 study published in Cell Reports Medicine by Tromelin and colleagues challenged this directly. They measured muscle protein synthesis over 12 hours, not just the 4 to 6 hours used in previous studies, and found that 100 grams of protein after resistance exercise produced 30% higher muscle protein synthesis rates over that full period compared to 25 grams, with no major increase in wasted amino acids. This doesn't mean you need to eat 100 grams in one sitting, but it does mean the old 20-gram ceiling is an oversimplification of older, more limited research. The practical takeaway: 30 to 50 grams of quality protein per meal, 3 to 4 times per day, is well within evidence-based ranges for maximizing muscle protein synthesis across the day. Meal 1, 4 whole eggs scrambled plus 100 grams of smoked salmon, or, if you prefer, 1 cup of Greek yogurt plus 1 scoop of whey plus berries. High protein, moderate fat, low carbs. Pre-workout meal, 200 grams of chicken or turkey, 200 grams of rice or pasta, a handful of vegetables. High protein plus high carbs equals a fueled training session. Post-workout, 1 to 2 scoops of whey protein in water or milk plus 1 banana. Quick, simple, effective. Dinner, 200 grams of fatty fish like salmon or mackerel, or 200 grams of beef, with a large salad with olive oil and 150 grams of potato or legumes. Optional snack: cottage cheese or hard-boiled eggs if you're genuinely hungry. Not because of meal timing, because you're hungry and your body needs protein. The mistakes that kill this framework. Mistake 1, rules that are too rigid. If you treat these 5 rules as binary, I either do all 5 perfectly or I failed today, you will quit. The goal is consistency, not perfection. 4 out of 5 rules on most days beats a perfect 2 weeks followed by complete collapse. Every time. Mistake 2, not checking your weekly average weight. You don't count calories, fine, but you still need to know if you're gaining, maintaining, or losing weight week by week. That weekly number is your feedback signal. Without it, you're flying completely blind. Mistake 3, snacks and liquid calories destroying the structure. People apply the 5 rules to their actual meals, then quietly ruin it with calorie-dense snacks they don't register. Granola bars, flavored lattes, protein bars that are basically candy. They add up fast, faster than people realize. Mistake 4, underestimating fats. A single drizzle of olive oil is around 120 calories. People following intuitive-style diets without any awareness often eat 400 to 600 hidden calories in fat sources they're not accounting for. It's not a problem if it's controlled. It becomes a real problem when it's invisible. You feel consistently energized before training. You're not ravenously hungry between meals. Your performance in the gym is stable or improving. Your weekly weight average is either stable if your goal is body recomposition, or trending up very slightly if your goal is lean gain. If you're constantly hungry, add more protein. If you're gaining weight too fast, liquid calories are almost certainly the culprit. If this is you, and honestly this describes the majority of people, the single highest impact correction is not a new training split. It's adding a structured protein source to every meal you're already eating. That one change alone can add 50 to 80 grams of protein per day to most people's diets. Applied consistently for 12 weeks, that change will produce measurable, visible results without changing anything else. You don't need more discipline. You need better structure. Structure makes discipline automatic. 3 frameworks. 1 goal. The right one for you isn't the most advanced. It's the one you'll actually stick to for 12 consecutive weeks. Controlled lean gain, if you're patient and want precision. Cyclical recomp, if your training schedule is structured. Performance-based diet, if you need simplicity that works. Pick one, apply it, don't switch. Most people don't fail because the diet was wrong. They fail because they quit too early. That's the real variable. And as always, before making significant dietary changes, check with your doctor or registered dietitian. And if you want to keep building on everything we covered today, the next video answers one of the most divisive questions in the fitness world right now. Is creatine actually more effective than optimizing your food for muscle gain? Or is it just expensive placebo? Watch Creatine versus Food. What actually builds more muscle? It's on screen right now. Don't skip it.